Okay, the other day we talked about factoring and the zero product property, and that is something that could be used on this problem, but some people hesitate because they're a little bit intimidated by the guess and check process. So another way to handle this kind of problem is with the box method. So we make the box, and it has to have 3 rows and 3 columns for your work. So in the top left box goes the quadratic term. That's the term with the squared on the x. In the top middle box goes the constant term. And then you take the product of these two, and it goes in the top right. So the next thing you do, and this is what sort of organizes the chaos of guess and check. In these two boxes, you have to think of factors of negative 40x squared. So you need x times x, and 1 needs to be negative. So factors of negative 40x squared that will add up to 3x. So you're thinking of combinations like 1 and 40, 2 and 20. 3 doesn't work. 4 and 10. 5 and 8 sounds like a nice combination. And you just have to choose correctly. So we will choose the negative 5 and the positive 8 because they add up to positive 3. So that's what really drives this box so that we can figure out the remaining parts. So these two boxes have to be factors of 2x squared. Well, that's either 2x and x or x and 2x. But to make the box work, you have to be able to multiply across as well as up and down. So 2x times 4 is 8x. X times negative 5 is negative 5x. And voila, this represents x plus 4. And this represents 2x minus 5. Okay, so we have the factors completed. Now we just use the zero product property to find our solutions. So if 2x minus 5 equals 0, then 2x must equal 5, so x must equal 5 halves. On the other hand, x plus 4 equals 0, so x could equal negative 4. Two solutions. There they are. Now I will let you try the next one. Here's a method called the square root method, which is usually found to be quite simple by students. You want to isolate the squared part of the expression. So for instance here, we would divide both sides by 3. And once you have isolated the squared part, you can take the square root of. So that leaves you with x minus 4 in absolute value of equals the square root of 14. To remove the absolute values, you put a plus and a minus on the other side. So to solve for x, you add 4 to both sides. So you get 4 plus square root of 14 and 4 minus the square root of 14. There you have two new methods for solving quadratics.